Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss about technology transfer protocol. WHO guidelines are available, and in one of the guidelines the detailed protocol about the transfer of technology has been given. The two parties or two companies interested in the technology transfer, they can refer the guidelines of the WHO, where there is a separate chapter about the technology transfer protocol. The protocol means the detailed procedure about the technological transfer. Technology of transfer protocol. Transfer of technology protocol is also recognized as part 1 under the guidelines given by WHO, which requires the basic principles of GMP. It is divided into the number of chapters such as introduction, organization and management, premises and equipment, quality control, analytical method transfer, production, processing, packaging and clearing, and documentation. These guidelines provide guidance about the transfer of technology in addition to GMP. Here the product may be transferred either during the development, the research development, or it may be transferred during the scale up, and also it may be transferred during the commercial batches like site transfer. In short, the TOT, that is the transfer of technology, is defined as a logical procedure that controls the transfer of any process together with its documentation and professional expertise between development and manufacture, or between manufacturing sites. As such, the transfer of technology is a critical process. The transfer is not meant only the transfer of production facility, but it includes all the things, right from the documentation and ability, knowledge and experience. It is a systematic process and which must be smoothly conducted for the successful transfer from one company to another company. For both the companies, the transfer of technology is about the business interest. Either it is having the objective for a receiving company in order to get the new technology for entering into a new business venture, whereas for the company which wants to give the technology or transfer the technology to someone, wants to gain the big profit out of that transfer, then it is a well documented plan. It is not like one has said that it has been given or it has been transferred to you. It is not just sufficient, but it has to be a well documented plan. In fact, in a quality system, a proper documentation must be there for the for execution of the process of transfer. Then, as it has been previously mentioned, the transfer is there either at the stage of development or production and QC. The transfer is regarding the development of the product, and also the actual production of the product must be executed successfully in addition to the quality control. The SU and RU. The transfer actually it is held between the SU and RU. SU stands for the selling unit, whereas the RU for the receiving unit. So these are both companies. Selling unit wants to sell its technology to someone or some other company who is interested to buy such a technology, whereas the receiving unit or receiving company at the other end is interested to get the technology operated in their own facility. So here we are going to see that what the successful transfer needs. So it basically requires the project plan covering quality aspects based on quality risk management. The quality risk management, there is a separate chapter under the guidelines given by WHO and will be separately discussed in the next video. So properly speaking, the project plan, the detailed project plan covering all the quality aspects is required. Then SU and RU, SU selling unit and RU the receiving unit, to have similar capabilities, facilities and equipment. So it is a very essential that the technology which is being transferred from the SU to the RU, so both of them must have the similar capabilities. Otherwise it is not possible to transfer the technology from a giant company to a very small company. So both of the companies must be of the equal capacities or capabilities, and also facility wise they should be always almost comparable. Facilities and equipment wise they must be comparable. Then the technical gap analysis is done. It is a essential point. Technical risk assessment and potential regulatory gaps, and the technical gap analysis in both the facilities, both the companies. uh, uh, if the detailed analysis has been done about the equipments and machineries available, so that will the technical risk assessment which gives us where are the risk points, then there might be some regulatory gaps, and one has to identify the potential regulatory gaps which which are required to be fulfilled before before the transfer process actually starts. Then the effective process and product knowledge transfer. What is exactly to be transferred? The effective process and the product knowledge. Both of them are important to be transferred effectively. So this all is there under the transfer of technology. The entire process, it is supposed to be successfully transferred to the receiving unit at the cost of uh, the deal which is there in the agreement against a certain deal, the amount, the bidded amount, and against that amount actually the transfer is supposed to be executed as a part of deal, and in that the effective process and also the product knowledge must be included. Moreover, the trained staff is the requirement. Without a staff, without staff, actually in the receiving unit where the first time the technology is being installed, without staff the technology will not work. So therefore, the staff of the receiving unit company must be trained by the selling unit company. This these all things are supposed to be included in the agreement of the transfer of technology from one company to another company. So the staff training is also an important part or the integral part of this transfer process. Another point for the successful transfer is there that the problems must be communicated from RU to SU. Whatever problems are there, uh, the RU is facing with, so they must be communicated as a routine basis to the SU. Then continuing knowledge management. The regarding the product, the detail, see in one at a one point of time, it is not possible to transfer the knowledge the entire knowledge related to the product in one day or in one span. So there has to be a knowledge management on the continual basis to be developed, and both of them must stick to that system, to that management, so that there will be no any miscommunication, there will be no any gap so far as the transfer of the knowledge is concerned, because all related with the technology is concerned with the knowledge, and there has to be a continuing knowledge management system, develops system which should be developed and which should be followed. Next point is the legal and economic implications. So it is a part of, see, the agreement which is signed between the two companies, that is RU and SU. That legal agreement or the legal implications, they must include, they must mention specifically about the intellectual property rights. Otherwise the selling unit, whoever is transferring its technology, so they will they may deny that, they won't allow that intellectual property to be owned to be owned by the receiving unit. So these things must be mentioned well in advance in the agreement, all about the intellectual property rights, then also about the royalties in case the selling unit has purchased the intellectual property rights by spending some amount in the form of the royalty. So these things all, they must be mentioned in the agreement, or otherwise about that royalty and all. So whatever agreement cost has been finalized, so it must be inclusive of all those things, or it has, if it is required to be separately mentioned, separately charged, then they should be it should be mentioned in the agreement itself about the royalties. Then about the pricing, whatever whatever pricing it is finalized, it is agreed by both companies, then on that basis the agreement is finalized, and this it is signed by both the companies. Of course the third party is also involved in as a part, as a witness. Then the conflict of interest and confidentiality, these are the important things. uh, whatever do's and don'ts are there, so they must be well mentioned, they must be mentioned. Otherwise once the agreement is over, then there should not be any disputes afterwards. So in order to avoid all the disputes, so whatever conflicts of interest may possibly occur, so they must be predicted, they must be, say, forecasted in advance, and accordingly they should be mentioned, they should be signed, they should means both the companies, they should agree whatever conflict of interest will be there in future about the transfer of that technology related to a product manufacturing. Then that process of transfer of technology, it has to be completely transparent. There should not be any hidden points, there should not be any undisclosed facts. Otherwise those points may trigger the disputes, The basically the disputes will be upon, see, the cost factor or the pricing factor. Whatever pricing which was decided at the time of agreement, so that must be followed. Otherwise, there would be, see, difficulty, there would be disputes. Sometimes those disputes may become the big hurdles for the continuation of that process of transfer of the technology. The process of transfer of technology, it is such a process which is not completed in a single day, or actually a specific time span has to be mentioned, uh, during which that process has to be gradually executed, uh, so that at the end of the day, the complete and smooth transfer, successful transfer must be there. And therefore it is must that the entire process has to be completely transparent, in the sense that there should not be there shouldn't be nothing, see, hidden or undisclosed. Whatever uh, information is needed, so it should be completely disclosed by the selling unit, and the receiving unit must be comply with that, must agree with that. Then only the successful transfer will be held. As per, if that transfer, if it goes according to the well set protocol uh, given or published by WHO under the specific guidelines about the technology of transfer of technology, then there will be no any dispute. There will be nothing wrong. Only the thing is that the agreement has to be in detail. It should be complete and should have taken care of all these points whatever mentioned in the previous slide and this current slide. Success: documented evidence that the RU routinely reproduces the transferred product, process, or method against a predefined set of specifications as agreed with SU. So, whatever we discussed here, there has to be documented evidence about that the RU, that is the receiving unit, routinely reproduces the transfer product. This is needed that if the receiving unit is is producing such a document, such documents which can become the evidence for for reproducing that product on the routine basis. So that indicates that the technology, whatever technology about which the agreement was signed, so it has been transferred successfully. Otherwise, if there will be no documentary evidence about the reproducibility of the product technology in the receiving unit, so how can we say that the transfer of technology, that particular business deal is over or not? So this may be this is related with the process or the method against a predefined set of the specifications as agreed with the selling unit. So now let us see the scope of the protocol of transfer of technology. So what is the scope? It should cover the production and quality control. So as per the agreement, there might be all dosage forms which are adjusted case by case as per the risk management principle. Uh, if we consider the different range of product as a case by case, so the risk management is different for different product, and that way it should be mentioned case by case. Then the technical agreement to be in place about this, particularly close control to sterile products and metered dose aerosols. For the sterile products and metered dose aerosols, the close control about the process has to be there. Otherwise, the ordinary products, about them, the production is not very difficult, but the problems can also be overcome by the experienced people or the skilled people. Uh, but so far as the sterile products or the aerosol products are controlled, where the close control of that process is required, which should be which is very difficult to be transferred, and therefore in the agreement these products, they should be separately mentioned. Then the production, what regarding production, what should be included in the protocol: active pharmaceutical ingredient, that is the APIs. So exactly what API in the it is to be there in the product. Then the manufacturing and packaging of bulk materials, the bulk materials that are received in the company for manufacturing purpose. So it's manufacturing, how it should be, and packaging, what in what packaging the bulk material has been received, or it was stored. So that has to be mentioned properly. Thirdly, manufacturing and packaging of finished pharmaceutical products. So whatever finished pharmaceutical products means the final product after the manufacturing, what is known as the finished pharmaceutical product, FPPs. So its manufacturing and packaging must be included. Moreover, the analytical testing, whatever finished products have been there, so it can be assessed, it can be checked regarding its quality by the analytical testing. And for this purpose, the analytical testing, it should be there in the protocol of the transfer of technology. What it covers: transfer of development and production. So both development as well as production. Production includes the processing, packaging, and cleaning. So these things must be covered under this agreement of the transfer of technology. So this is the detailed protocol. So for every point, actually, the procedure is there, and the directions are there for the transfer. So every single thing, every small thing associated with the manufacturing of that product, which is considered as the technology, and actually this is the technology which is supposed to be transferred as per the agreement. Then the transfer of analytical methods for quality assurance and quality control. During the manufacturing, the quality is assured by the quality assurance techniques. There are certain number of tests which must be conducted during the actual manufacturing is going on, and at each stage the test will be confirming the quality of that intermediate, so that it can assure the quality of the final product. At the same time, the final product quality which is to be tested in the quality as per the quality control test. So the transfer of analytical methods, both means for quality assurance as well as quality control, must be included in the transfer procedures or in the transfer protocols. Next point is the skills assessment and training. Whatever skills are required for that complete manufacturing or during the processing, whatever skills are required, so those skills must be identified. And those skills, see, in the receiving unit company, where the different employees will be there, it is it may be possible that those employees may not be having that required skill. So whatever skill we do identify here by in the selling unit, so it must be identified, uh, or it must be see considered for the for the personals working in the receiving unit company, and where a proper training is required for those people in that receiving company. Then the organization and management of the transfer. So organization and the management of the transfer, they must be also their names, the responsible persons, with the defined responsibilities for each and every person, and entire management people. So they must be their names, their contact numbers, they should be there in the transfer protocol. Then assessment of premises and equipment, the detailed assessment, because see, for the transfer of technology we consider the capabilities of both the units, RU and SU. So for both RU and SU, the premises must be assessed, the equipment facilities available in both the units must be assessed, the comparable chart, comparable information must be prepared. Then only we can decide upon whether the transfer of technology procedure has to be executed or not. So if these things are already there in the protocol, so it will be easier to take the decision. Then documentation and qualification and validation. For everything the documentation is must. For example, the equipments, all the required equipments are there for the manufacturing of that particular product which is under consideration of the transfer. So for each and every equipment, the validation documents must be there, the installation qualification or operation qualification. So these validation documents or the performance documents, so these validation documents are essential for all the equipment facilities available in the selling unit, because these all documents are required to the other company which is going to receive that technology, because with that documents only they will be able to properly set the equipment, properly choose the equipment, set the equipment, and accordingly to operate the equipment. Then only it will be possible to have that same process being run over there, and to get the product with the equal quality as it has been decided in the agreement. Organization and management. So the transfer of technology, it is taken place between the SU and RU, selling unit and receiving unit. Then another party may be involved for coordinating or approving. It is the third party, just for settling if any dispute arises between these two. So it is just for coordinating or for approving. So there will be no difficulty in executing that particular agreement, whatever agreement which has been signed between the two companies having the interest of the business, or having the deal of the business for the transfer of the technology from SU to RU. So there has to be a certain third party as to judge, as to coordinate the things. Then the formal agreement has to be prepared, as we have seen. It is the legal document, we can say, and that initially that it is the formal agreement, but it has to be legalized properly, and the responsibilities must be defined for every person or every management staff, every person in the organization, and as well as the every member of the management, every director of the management of both the companies, particularly the selling unit companies directors, uh, and every member of that organization. So the important people in the organization and the management, they must be their names with the contact numbers, with the addresses, they must be mentioned, with the defined responsibilities for each and every one during and after transfer, before, during, as well as after the transfer. So the responsibilities are not over if the transfer is over, but even after the transfer some responsibilities still will be there about for these people, and they should be uh, take those responsibilities and follow those responsibilities without any hesitation. So it is as it is there in the agreement, so they have to follow. Then the project management plan identifies and controls all the necessary activities. So this is a must, project management plan for every for every kind of deal, dealings of the corporate sectors. So the project management plans are important, because once these plans are well prepared with the consent of each and every management member, then those plans can be uh, well executed without any hassle, without any trouble. So this has to be there in the agreement of the transfer of technology. So the transfer protocol to include, first point is the objective and scope of the transfer, the entire transfer of technology process. It should be mentioned in, first of all, in the title, its objective and scope. Then second point, this is the detailed protocol about the transfer of technology. Second point is the key personnel and their responsibilities, as we already mentioned in the previous slides. A parallel comparison of materials, methods, and equipments. Once the detailed analysis been assessment has been done about the SU and RU, so a parallel comparison of materials, methods, and equipment, it has to be there. It should be mentioned in the protocol only, because it is the requirement, it is a legal requirement for the transfer of technology to be held between these two parties, companies. Then transfer stages. So the stages of the transfer, they must also be mentioned. So what the develop, whether it is a development stage, whether it is a pilot plant stage, or it is actually the manufacturing stage, or post manufacturing stage, right, means at the stage of marketing of that product by the receiving unit company. So the transfer process, the total entire transfer process, it should be divided into stages, and those stages, for each stage we can set the deadline about the date. So before that date this phase must be over, like that. Those things can be mentioned in the agreement. Then identification of critical control points. So this is very important. See, when we are talking about the transfer of technology at such a big level from one company to another company, these two companies, they are not in the same city, or they are not in a same, say, state also. They may be in the different state, they may be in the different countries as well. So it is a big process, and therefore uh, there are certain critical points, so they must be properly identified. Those, the expertise in this field, they are capable of identifying those particular critical points, because if those critical points, if they are taken care of well in advance, so the transfer process of about the technology will be conducted smoothly, without any hassles, without any difficulties. Otherwise, if these peoples fail to identify those critical points, then uh, there may be hurdles. There will be hurdles for the smooth transfer. Maybe that the phases will not be completed within the within that predetermined date, means that agreed deadline, and then the disputes will arise. Then experimental design and acceptance criteria for analytical methods. The experimental design has to be there for everything to be transferred, particularly uh, the testing methods, where we have to set the experiments, then we have to set some tolerable limits, and accordingly the acceptance criteria has to be there, particularly in case of the analytical methods, where uh, exact result is practically to get the exact result about some experiment is practically impossible, and therefore we have to set the limits for a lower limit and upper limit, so those within those limits the results are expected, or we can say the tolerance limits, percent 5% tolerance limits or 10% tolerance limits, like that. Sometimes in the agreement, if it has been it is not mentioned, then it may be possible that the selling unit or the receiving unit, they may come at a point of the dispute where they don't say have the consent for the taste values they are getting, maybe that the value is beyond 5% tolerance limit. So this tolerance limit we have to mention, we have to mutually decide. This both companies, RU and SU, they should mutually decide the tolerance limits. Then there will be no disputes about the transfer of technology. In continuation with that, transfer protocol also to include information on trial production batches, qualification batches, and process validation. So for trial batches, information must be there, qualification batches, and also for the process validation, because if that entire manufacturing has been successfully done in the receiving unit, then the process, it can be validated over there. Particularly, basically, that selling unit should validate that process completely in their own facilities, and that validated procedure, then it will be easier to transfer to another facility uh, with the more percentage of success. Ch- uh, Change control and deviations encountered. Change control and deviations encountered, as we decided, as we discussed in case of the analytical methods, um, the tolerance limits are there, but in other methods where the deviations, wherever the deviations are going to be encountered, so those things must be mentioned right in the beginning only. uh, Whatever changes, see, exactly in the receiving unit the similar facilities won't be there, some changes are happen to be there, and with the advent of those changes, if anything uh, different found, particularly in the run of the process, so there might be uh, change of the quality of the final product. So those things must be mentioned, whatever changes which are going to be there, so the control of the change must be mentioned, must be taken care of. Then assessment of the end product. See, the process, although the process is not getting executed as it was supposed to be, but still the finished product, it is almost similar, it is almost having the similar quality as that of the uh, expected expected quality as it was intended during the transfer of technology. So the problem is mostly solved, but still the people may be interested to raise the doubt, to raise the dispute. In that case, these things must be mentioned in the agreement itself, so that in future there will be no any disputes. Arrangement. Next point is the arrangement for keeping retention samples. So retention samples arrangements must be there in both particularly in the receiving company units, so that those retention samples, they that can be a evidence about the successful transfer of the technology. And finally the conclusion and approval. Once all these things are satisfied, so finally the conclusion is made and the approval is granted by both the companies. They are agreed with the with all the terms and conditions mentioned in that particular legal document, and accordingly the, they give their consent, they give the written approval, and thus the deal is said to be over. The SU should provide validation documentation from SU. Uh, validation SU should provide the validation document, normally an established process for, I mean, the process has to be established, and therefore the validation documents about that process, they must be transferred by SU to the receiving unit RU. Then the criteria information on hazards and critical steps associated with the product, process or method to be transferred to serve as a basis for a quality risk management exercise at the RU. So information on the hazards and critical steps associated with the product and process or the method, they must be transferred as we discussed in the previous slides, that there should not be any hidden things. Otherwise, see, if that process is running smoothly, there will be no problem as such. But if in case any difficulty arises, so there might be some dangers or hazards which were not thought previously at the time of agreement, and therefore it is the duty of the selling unit to disclose such hazards. At large scale, there are some things which were not noticed at the small scale, and something is suddenly comes up, or it is raised up, and so those hazards will create the troubles. So those things already should be mentioned right in the beginning of that transfer of technology. So SU, what SU to assess for executing this transfer deal. Firstly, the suitability, preparedness of the RU before transfer. If the RU wishes to get the technology transferred, so it is the duty of SU to check the suitability of the RU, the preparedness of the RU for the transfer of the technology. See, agreement if it is over, but before starting the actual transfer of the technology, so this kind of preparedness by the RU, it must be checked by SU. The premises, equipment, then the support services such as the purchasing and inventory control mechanisms, quality control procedures, documentation, computer validation, site validation, equipment qualification, water for pharmaceutical production, and the waste management. So all these facilities, they must be checked, they must be assessed, they must be in fact inspected. So actually, um, the regulatory body inspectors, as they do visit the manufacturing facility, and they confirm all these facilities whether they are available or not. So in the um, uh, similarly, the SU, the selling unit should visit. They should send their representative expert persons to the receiving unit manufacturing site, and they should observe all those things. They should confirm that all the facilities are available there, like premises, the required premises, equipment, then the support services like purchasing and inventory control mechanisms. I mean, whatever raw materials are required, so they should have that purchasing system with a proper inventory control mechanism. Moreover, they should have the quality control procedures in all the documentations, computer validation, site validation, equipment qualification, water, which is required for the pharmaceutical production, and also uh, whether they to have the waste management. So these are the uh, things. Maybe it may be required even by the laws. So the selling unit has to confirm that all those requirements they should be fulfilled by the receiving unit, and then only the actual transfer begins. So SU and RU, they should jointly verify. Now both of them, what they should jointly verify. So first one is the prepare and execute the transfer protocols and reports. So the transfer protocol and reports, so these both uh, have to be prepared, and they should be checked. They should be these things should be jointly verified by both SU as well as RU. Moreover, IQ and OQ for manufacturing and packaging equipment, and also for analytical equipment. IQ means installation qualification, and OQ means operational qualifications. These are the validation documents, and for every manufacturing and packaging equipment, also for analytical equipments, the IQ and OQs, these things must be checked by both SU as well as RU, because from SU these things they should be transferred to the RU. It may be that in with the RU some different equipment is likely to be there. In that case, the validation documents, that is IQ and OQ, must be available with that company. Both the companies, they have the equipments, facilities. Uh, they are almost similar kind of facilities they are having in their own manufacturing units. Here, the transfer of physical thing is not being held. This is the a very important point. The transfer of technology means there is nothing physically transferred, like any equipment or any piece of the any physical thing. It is not being actually transferred, but rather only the technology, the knowledge, the skill, uh, that is being transferred, and therefore both the SU and RU, they must thoroughly check whether this qualification and operation installation qualification and operational qualification validation documents are available for the equipment facilities available in the manufacturing unit, and also the analytical equipments for those things must be checked. Then the room qualification, manufacture and packaging. So this is important. The manufacturing facility in the receiving unit, it must be thoroughly checked uh, whether that environment is controlled environment or not. What is the level of contamination? What is see the what are the environmental factors? How the environmental factors are controlled? So those things must be checked. Then the joint training programs and training assessment. So both the units, they will require these things. Joint training programs have to be conducted for the personals, particularly in the receiving units. Even actually, the receiving unit personnel, they can learn those skills, they can acquire those skills by talking, by interacting the similar kind of people working in the say selling unit company, right? So for this thing, the joint training programs are must, and also the training assessment has to be there. Only it is not sufficient if that person undergoes a particular training, so it will not be over. The training assessment also has to be there in order to confirm that in the real sense that particular person has acquired that particular skill. Then the change control, this is also a point both the companies must check. Whatever changes, exactly similar facilities won't be there in the receiving unit. So whatever changes are there, so how those changes will be affecting the final quality of product, will be affecting the process of manufacturing of that product. So these are the things must be considered by both the companies, or they should jointly verify these things. Project team, relevant disciplines from both the SU and RU sites. What the project teams should include? Project team will be there in with the SU, and also the project another project team will be there with the RU. So those project teams will come in front of each other for transfer of this technology from one to another. So the relevant disciplines personnel must be present in that project team for both SU as well as RU. Then qualifications and experience of those peoples must be mentioned. Then define key responsibilities for each and every person in the project teams. So these are the premises. Premises so let us stop here, and for the next part of this presentation we'll have another video. So for this for now I am thankful to you. Thank you.